Welcome to the Port Charles Update with your hosts, Mish and Mel.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh my gosh, did you enjoy the tea party?
It was okay. It was awkward. So how did you feel? We both love when all these different characters are in a room together for like a really strange reason. Like we don't know why we're bringing them together. So you're starting to think like, why is this person in the room? And my absolute favorite
Mm-hmm.
was, of course, Portia and Jordan. They just can't seem to stay out of each other's crosshairs. And Jordan was in
Good.
full detective mode, tracking Portia's habits. Like for me, that was like the absolute highlight of the funnies.
It was so good because you know that I get bogged down by like logistics. So when the tea
Yeah,
party was suggested the week before, I couldn't focus because I'm like, but who would she meet? And I was just really
right?
obsessing over that. And I had identified Felicia as being someone I thought she could connect with. So I was like, oh my gosh, Felicia was invited to the tea party. Because I didn't know if they meant like just she poo poo or just people.
Exactly.
And they invited people we know. And so I was like, oh, I was right. Felicia was
It's like,
invited.
oh, my bestie Felicia's going to the party. I'm so excited.
Exactly. But that was the funny thing was the curtsying.
My word, yes.
Okay, that was hilarious. And I mean, look, Ronnie was overwhelmed, but let's be fair. This was not a typical tea party. She wasn't exactly meeting a ton of stuffy people. Like, none of them are
Exactly.
stuffy. Okay, but she was overwhelmed because she doesn't know that.
Very, very true. It's not her environment. It's not her house, or she's still getting used to it. And then every single person she's meeting is for the first time. It's like me going to a networking event now. I'd have a meltdown.
Right? So it's like for her, she sees the quartermain, she understands that there's the status and everything. And even later when she's like, let's kick off our shoes. And I'm like, technically, like everyone there is chill. Like Elizabeth will
Yes.
have a beer with you. Like it was more chill than she knew. Lucy was being Lucy, and that will always be a thing. But I mean, it's confusing to introduce Felicia as the Aztec princess. Like, I still don't know
Truly.
what that is, but I remember when it was a thing. But I loved how, like, Stella was a little bit the host, right? Stella got the door for Elizabeth and Portia. Elizabeth and Portia have that little joint secret. I love, like, that little moment at the front entrance where they were, like, getting ready for, like, the drama and if it's
Yes.
interesting. So I love those elements, right? And I kinda this was my favorite, and it speaks to what you talked about, just being interested in the Portia-Jordan dynamic. But I loved the Tracy Stella moment where Stella then shares her own family drama. And I really, really loved positioning that side by side. You know, Tracy's the head of her
Yeah.
family, while it is a prominent family and everybody knows it. But I love that Stella was propped up as an equal right beside her, being like, well, get a load of my family. And they might be the ones to cause some trouble today. And so then I love that. I love them together and then moving to that. But I was just like, you know, I love Jordan.
Yes, you very
I
much
love
do.
I love Jordan. The part about Portia I love is the fact that she sees Curtis for exactly who he is and acknowledges
Uh-huh.
that he wasn't being fair, okay? Curtis was not fair to Jordan, and Jordan, she moved on,
Yes.
but she never really, like, got hers, right? She never really, like, had a big confrontation with Curtis to be like, "You're a wackadoo, and you're being so unfair right now." How does one end a marriage, open a bar, hook up with his ex just because he didn't wanna have one conversation with me about
Right?
about my work commitment. So, like and, like, even right now, Jordan is in this place where it's like he's her person, so she's focused on whatever Portia's doing to him and how Portia's, committing wrongs against Curtis. But even Curtis said it. I don't know if he said it to Jordan or maybe just his dad, but this idea that, like, perhaps he didn't give Jordan a full chance, and it's like, "No, you didn't give that marriage any chance." So maybe he never
None.
told her directly to let her know that he's not the best.
All of that. Yes, all of this is going through my mind. And this whole Dr. Gannon, I'm like, Portia's like, the one part I don't like about Portia is like all of the leftovers are just, they just keep rotating through. Like at this point
Yes,
now,
okay, I hear what she Pro, she calls Curtis out. Con, she's into all of Jordan's leftovers,
hmm
except for Taggart, right?
and
Taggart was
having the
just
babies.
Yes. To be honest, that's a pro for me. I don't know why. I find
Love
it
it,
really
love
funny.
it.
I find it so funny that, like, all her babies are just like, I just thought I would pick this up on my way to the store. Like, just like, I absolutely love that. Like, she's like, I'm married in a relationship, but like, I'm gonna just real quick. Okay. I'll bring a kid into the family. I don't know, like, I think I just love her commitment to self. I love her consistency in that regard. I don't know why, but I find that utterly amusing. But what I did not like, though, is that Jordan actually confronted her on the pregnancy thing, and I'm like, "Stay out of it." Like,
No.
I love that Jordan is normally really, like, slick. She has a lot of tact, she has the ability to kind of stay removed from things. She handles certain situations that are pretty messy kind of well. But in this instance, Jordan chased the mess, and I'm not used to her chasing the mess.
Right?
So I don't really like that. Like, I understand they're using her in this story because the story is, oops, she did it again. She found another mess and got pregnant. I can't write this song on the spot, but it does write itself.
It really does, though.
So it's like, that's the part I didn't like is that we're using Jordan because she spotted her with
Mhm.
her colleague, and they were intensely conferring. Doesn't she ever intensely confer?
Do you know more than half of Port Charles is intensely conferring in some corner or another, or in a cafe, or in the hospital, of
Exactly.
their hospital hallways? Like, I think it's
Yes.
hilarious.
Yes. So I mean, yeah, for me, that's like in that moment, I was pro Portia, but it wavers, right? Like you pointed out, there's pros and cons, but in that moment, I was pro Portia. It's her business. Let
Yes.
her do what she wants with her situation. I like that Jordan didn't necessarily run to Curtis, but called Anna. So Anna could be like, it's none of your business and
I
keep
do
her on
like
track.
that.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the funny thing, like, in this situation where Curtis is still Curtis, you know
Yes.
how they, like, rewrite people's narratives, and over the
Mm-hmm.
past few weeks, like, they're like, "Anna has a murder board. She's a detective expert." And, like, slowly
Yeah.
I'm starting to believe certain things and have confidence in her again.
There's something else that came up that actually had me
Hmm?
being like, she earned some street cred in my
Oh my
book.
god, you tell me.
It was the award on the back of, like, her shelf in her office. She
Stop.
got she got an honor. It's fictional, obviously, but she was honored for all of her work and efforts for violence against women and girls. It's
What?
all fictional and in the show, but when I saw that, I'm like, "Hmm,
Damn.
between this and her gut about Cesar, like, I forget that Anna's a banana." Literally.
Right?
I'm like, "I'll go where you wanna take me, honestly." Like, I have no qualms about it. I could have spent years calling her Anna Banana, but I'm like, "Show me something different." I'm like, "Okay, cool. We're here now."
This is why we're really a really good audience for this show, and we do so.
So you're talking about rewriting narratives. So Anna as a non-banana. What else?
In comparison to, okay, there's so many things that are upside down world right now, but it's so fun to watch.
Are you
Like,
concerned that they're gonna rewrite Curtis as, like, someone I could take seriously? So
well, I'm like, okay, are they going to rewrite Curtis as like an actual criminal? Did he do the shooting? We don't know. Where does
Oh!
this leave him? If Portia is, I think if Portia's going to have this baby by Dr. Gannon and actually tell the father this time, and if Anna is making sure that Jordan stays in her lane and
Yeah.
knows that she deserves more, where does that leave Curtis's storyline? You know?
Okay, so I see what you mean. If he doesn't have a woman, he must be a murderer, or he has to be in order to survive. I mean, I get it, like, you have to be interesting.
Right? And
So
he's
no,
not, though. It's the women that make him interesting.
yeah, so I think, like, Jordan will obviously be in his orbit, and I think that, like, look, Portia was annoyed about Jordan.
Yes.
She feels that that Curtis ran to Jordan and told her information about them getting divorced, and he's like, "But you did it with me." She's like, "I know, but I'm sleeping with you." So, that's different. I get it, Jordan is a sore spot, and Curtis refuses to take responsibility about him making too much space in the relationship for Jordan.
Yes.
And so I think that because of her interaction with Jordan, she's now mad at Curtis, and I think that's how she chose the baby's paternity. And to be
Okay.
honest, I don't know what's more fair. Uh, because I agree with you. I think she's gonna go with Isaiah as the dad, and I think it's gonna be so funny. So funny. Could you imagine having 2 kids taken from you by the
20
same
years,
person?
right?
That
20 years
is
later, he finds out.
that's hilarious to me. And what's different though is that like Portia won't care. Because
No, she
the
won't.
first time it was like I had something to lose, but I was also in a relationship by myself. You know what I mean? It was
Yes.
like, be in this relationship, behave, don't make mistakes. We can't talk through anything. So I mean, she did what she needed to do to survive that relationship and decided I'll just maintain this perception of perfection.
Yes.
But if she's like, we're getting a divorce, I'm with Isaiah. If he finds out, like, of course, she wants custody, right? Like, at that point, she'd have to, like, share and deal with him. But, like,
Yes.
she's not gonna, I don't think she's gonna care. I mean, I guess she'll care
No.
about Trina, but I kind of hope she turns over a new leaf and is really all about Portia and can just lie to him again, but this time do it differently where she doesn't care and is not remorseful. You know, like, mix it up, mix it up a little bit.
Well, Trina's certainly mixing it up, going to the bar and meeting with Jordan.
This girl,
Mm,
I'm just saying, I thought it was maybe like a secret, like self-preservation, like no one could know that Drew was blackmailing my mom because it means that my mom did crime,
yes.
okay?
But apparently everybody can.
But apparently, it's everyone could know that my mom did crime and was blackmailing, but what they can't know is I took away the blackmail. And it's better that everyone think that there's blackmail. Like, I don't know. Like, to me, I'm, like, not understanding the fine line, and maybe it's so
I
fine that I
know.
can't see it, so therefore I can't understand it.
I'm getting old. I can't see anything. So,
So for me, I'm like, if you can share all that with Jaws, like, why can't you just say, "And then the problem is solved"? Like, I don't understand. Like, I don't understand what's the
period.
line. Yeah, and then she keeps, like, as an adult grown woman, goes to Jordan and being like, "Please don't break up my mommy and daddy."
I
You know what
cannot.
I
I
mean?
cannot with that.
Because, like, you should be having this talk with your dad,
Yep.
right? Like, Jordan, I mean, to be honest, like, she doesn't know anybody anything. She could do whatever she wants at this point. But I think at the end of the day, like, Jordan will be tortured as a result of this because I think she'll always sort of suspect this. So I think she will get close to Curtis, but then that's like the inherent obstacle between them.
Yes.
Could you imagine? Thinks that he's come so far in his life, right? He's
Hmm.
like, I walked away from a marriage because my wife lied to me. So then I found a new wife, and that wife lied to me. And then she lied again. So I'm going to divorce her and I'm going to go hang out with my ex wife because she's never going to lie to me. And then they both lie. He finds out, like, Portia's pregnant with his baby and that she lied. And then Jordan lied. Like, everyone just lies to him all the time. And it's funny. That's what happens when you're so vocal about it. People are just going to keep
Right?
doing it. It's like telling a kid, don't touch that. And they touch it. So maybe you
Exactly.
just stop telling them, don't lie to me, because that's all they're doing. That's all they're doing. Or he could be a murderer, but I don't think so at all.
I don't think so at all. I
Okay.
just throwing it out there for some laughs.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so the best part of that tea party, let's just put it out there. I mean, all I have written here was this word with 4 exclamation points, perhaps the name of our next podcast. I don't know if that's PG, but it's called Undersexed.
That was amazing. Okay, so tell me more about your thoughts of that whole back and forth between Ronnie and Tracy.
I think they were being honest with one another, and I think
Yes.
Martin slipped something in her drink.
1000%.
But it was weird though because Martin sees Lulu. Martin hears from Lulu about Ronnie. He pretends I don't know anything about Ronnie. And I'm like, do you not know anything about Ronnie? Because then who have you been on the phone with? Because you phoned someone the day of Monica's funeral,
Mhm.
and then you phoned someone just then.
And he found that letter at Drew's house.
Exactly. So is Ronnie Ronnie?
Oh.
I don't even know what that means because Ronnie didn't seem to
I
recognize Martin.
Or maybe she's a really good actress. Like the whole, she's trying to create this space. He's making sure who he hired is doing what they're supposed to. Like the fun part is, even though I do not like this storyline, is that there's so much that can happen. I really felt Tracy's pain when she
I
talked about,
did.
what was left to
I
her. Like
did.
that was, and we all felt it when the will reading happened. And then, but her expressing it in front of her whole entire family and them not standing up for her, that was awful.
It was awful, but Tracy can't turn it down at all. But I still felt like the reactions were uncalled for, right?
Yes.
Like, Olivia's saying, "I don't even want you at my hotel." I was like, "No one needed
Rude.
that." You know what I mean? Like, it was just
Yes.
it was so unnecessary. I just don't even know why you needed to add that at all. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
it just bothered me because of the whole, like, Quartermain sticking up for one another and always being there for each other, and, like, they've done such a good job of, like, getting along, and even though it's not always, like, a straight line,
Yeah.
yeah, I very much did not like that, did not care for it, but I know I feel too deep in my gut, as Tracy does, that this is wrong.
Yeah, I do think it's wrong. I think it's really cruel. Like, if you really were that close and you really had this history, and then they leading up to the memorial were really amplifying the relationship between Tracy and Monica was a big piece of it, right? Like, everybody wanted her to speak at the memorial, and she eventually did. So I do think it was harsh and it was cruel, and I don't see how or why Monica would do that. She may very well have written to a sister. Martin's a part of all this, but I'm trying to understand. Like, he doesn't want to work for Drew, but he's working for Drew to protect Stella.
Yes.
He still wants to get even with Tracy. Then he shares this information with
Right?
Drew, but he's not, let's say, in cahoots with Drew, but he's sharing
Mhm.
it with Drew. He's aiming still one track mind about Tracy. So goes there and does something so that Tracy's taken out of the picture. Like, whatever he's doing, it feels like it's solo
Yes.
rather than just directly colluding with Drew and being like, "Okay, well, I set this whole thing up. I get Tracy out of the picture, and then you can move in on the house." So it's like, if he hired Ronnie, or Ronnie is not who she says she is, that doesn't make any sense. He found Ronnie and made her come
Yeah.
because he changed the will because
Yeah.
it feels like he can work her.
Yes.
Okay, I got it now.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Done, watched it. So, but again, I hope Ronnie doesn't sell. That was really scary today.
That was, but I think it was important that everybody had warned her about who he is, and
Yeah.
if she has to pull off this whole scam or whatever Martin's promising her, she has to stick to the script.
That's the thing. I don't know how involved they are, right? Like, one theory is that he's working directly with her, but he would only work with her, like, would he hand it over to Drew? You know what I mean? To torture Tracy, because that hurts everybody. Like, he hates Drew. But
Mhm.
my theory is more this, that he nudged her there because he thought he could work her. Like, it's not
Oh, I
completely
see what
within
you
his
mean. Yeah, yeah,
control. It's not
yeah.
completely
Mhm.
within his control, but he found this outsider person to create chaos and put the house there. And maybe it would have been too obvious if the house was left to Drew, because that wouldn't have made sense. I don't know,
Yes.
right? Like, I don't really know, but definitely involved. I will say that when everything went down at the tea party, when she was called undersexed, that Stella
Yes.
dropped her tea. Because my
Yes.
favorite line was, "You could have thrown that at someone and you still wouldn't be the problem."
I
I was
know, that was
like
amazing, amazing.
I was like, "Damn." The way everything shook out, it just seems like Cody is the one who seems to know Tracy best, and while she did drug
Yes.
Alexis, I do think she would have said, "I did it," or at the very least admit it to somebody else and hope that they would protect her. But it turns out that Ronnie and Cody were both on One Life to Live, so that was why their scenes were so special. Also, General Hospital posted about it.
I was gonna say I did see that, but
That's where that information came from, was General.
research. You don't
Yes!
usually do the research.
Yes, I looked at the post, and then I was, like, looking at old clips of Cody. I couldn't find one of him and Victoria was her character that she played. I couldn't find, of the 2 of them together, but it was
Okay.
so weird watching Cody in another soap opera. Because to me, I'm like, "You've only existed today," as I watched
Right?
General Hospital. So I do think Ronnie's real, and she was really cute when she was trying to help Brooklyn scheme around Gio. I do think Ronnie's a real person, like, maybe really I hope she's actually Monica's sister, but it's sweet how she was supporting Brooklyn, right? Trying to help bridge that gap. So I mean, she's finding her way with different members of the family, if you will.
I do like that, and she did have an immediate bond with Gio, and he felt really comfortable talking to her, so I think that is a really great avenue for things, but I still don't have a full handle on her character, so I'm still, like, hesitant. You know, we have newbies come in on General Hospital, we're like, "We're just gonna wait and see. We don't know if you're good
Exactly.
or bad."
It's a wait and see, but I think that, like, with Laura showing up, I think that'll help, in terms of where
Yes.
Ronnie will stand when it comes to Drew.
Mhm.
Gotta love Danny's passion, but it was obviously painful to watch. So, yeah, Drew was busy. I was really hoping that Alexis would have sent him packing.
I know.
It didn't happen, with throwing Scout around. I was impressed, right, that initially she just said no, even though he threw Scout's name in, but then he brings up Sam, like, he's truly, truly, truly disgusting, and the fact that he
He
felt that he
is.
could walk right into her house,
Gross.
And the one thing I hope comes to light for Alexis as a lawyer is that he did not remove the restraining orders, right? So
I know.
already he made a deal and already went back on his deal or changed the terms, if you will, because he said he would lift the restraining orders and she
Mhm.
wanted them lifted. So I'm hoping that soon Alexis will, at the very least, be aware that he lifted the restraining, that he did not actually lift the restraining orders. He's simply just not enforcing them.
I'm hoping like Molly, because she hasn't been in the storyline, that she's the one who
Yes.
happens to see it or something like that and brings it to her mom.
Yeah. So again, she agreed to defend Willow. And as we saw today, the inevitable is that to defend Willow means if you're going to defend her to her fullest extent, and like she said, she's working for Willow, not Drew, but she doesn't need Drew to know that the best defense is to point the finger at someone else. And the most obvious suspect would be Michael.
So gross. I don't like any of it. Like,
I don't.
they're all family. Like, that's her
Yeah.
daughter's brother. There's just so much going on. And especially when like Danny called her grandma, it's like you almost forget sometimes. And she's like, oh my gosh, like I can see one of my grandkids. This one can't see this person. It's a tough position to be in. And she's picking the lesser of the evils. But I just don't think it's going to continue on her being Willow's lawyer because of Drew's antics and Chase intertwined in the mix.
Yeah, like, I mean, it is really messy, and I think she's basically doing the best she can for Scout because that's the most vulnerable person. The rest of them
Yes.
have each other, so she made a really hard decision. Like, none of this is
Yeah.
ideal, but she navigated it pretty well by, like, accepting the fact that, like, Scout had to leave early and really just she puts Scout first in the way that she answers and responds and does not throw Drew under the bus.
Yes.
So about Willow, right? She goes to see Willow and they have a talk, and Alexis broke it to her and crushed her hopes that a sudden memory resurfacing right when she doesn't want to be in jail may look suspicious.
I wish she hadn't said that. I know she has to. She's the lawyer. She's Alexis. She has
Why
to do
do
her
you
due
wish?
diligence because
Why?
then it would have like felt like it would have just her case would have crumbled.
Yeah, but Alexis, I think she had to tell her that, and I liked
I
their first
know.
meeting. She was honest about the conditions and that she's going to do everything she can, and she gets other visits. Okay, she gets other visits. But Chase was really wound up because he had an interaction with Michael that I think fueled his need for justice, if
Well,
you will.
steamy. He had a no, no, no. You have to go with. He had a steamy interact.
So listen, guys. Johnny happened not to be in the room when that scene came on. And
Stop.
I am thankful because literally the scene came on, Michael was sitting there, automatically and audibly, this came out. Yes, just like that. And then I caught myself and I'm like, oops, inside voice, one. So yeah, like that was my vibe. Like Michael's
So,
there and I'm
did you
like,
hear what happened in the scene, or like no?
I mean, look, I think we all could have benefited from muting Chase. Let's be real. If we wanted to amplify the experience, I guess I thought I heard that Michael got through, and then after commercial, it turns out he didn't, and I was like really annoyed at that point. So I was entertained for a while, but Chase has left the building. He has left the building. It's really interesting that between him and Lulu and Dante, the concept of evidence. Everybody is
Boy,
like, evidence, we're gonna follow the evidence. And then they're following it. They're like, I don't like this evidence. Like, I just don't know what to say about that because they're all trying to self-identify as like, we're all about justice. But then their arguments become a little odd, if you will. Like on the Lulu front, like, for someone who's an investigative journalist, she's really hell bent on focusing on what things look like
hmm,
rather than the facts, right? She looks at the facts. She's like, my gut's telling me it's different, so I'm going to spin a narrative without evidence to point to someone else. You know what I mean?
yes.
Like, but the evidence points to Willow. Why not just explore that front? Like, she refuses to follow or acknowledge that evidence. With Dante, I think that was maybe the worst.
Oh, the worst,
The
absolute
worst.
worst.
Especially for anybody who's watched a long time, like, how many of us watching had, like, flashbacks, were taken back
Yes.
to a time where we were like, ew, Dante. Like Dante and Lulu were utter pariahs at that point.
Yes.
Olivia in conflict with Carly, supporting Dante. Lulu was very, adamant about backing Dante's choice. Honesty is the best policy. We love justice. And I remember, like I told you, I found a scene where something happened with one of her kids. I think it might have been with when she found out about Georgie, because she
Okay.
had Georgie or something like that. It was something happened in her life later on, and she's sitting there with Carly being like, I can't believe I thought I knew. I thought I could make that decision. Or I thought I knew what it was to be a mother and what you do for your kid, right? Because Carly was livid. She was trying to protect her child and keep him out of jail.
Mm-hmm.
And that was not something Lulu at the time could understand, the lengths somebody would go to protect their kid, but it was something she did understand later. This is interesting. Like, you know what I mean? Like there like a full circle moment, an opportunity for like a redo. Okay. I didn't understand Dante's logic back then. Like Michael was young, and I remember Sonny was on the verge of being acquitted.
Yes.
And he just thought that if you do the right thing, good things will happen to you. Like, tell that to Esme, And Nicholas, because Laura was at one point on a confession spree, just telling everyone it was the best thing to do and that the punishment would be fair.
Yeah.
Like I think maybe Nicholas doesn't apply here, but Esme, for instance, like
Yes.
Esme, like that turned out really bad for her. But the thing is with Dante, I'm like, that hurts, like Lulu is one thing, Chase is one thing. But Dante had a hand in putting him in jail. Like, you watched that storyline years ago and you never think you're gonna be in this position
Yes.
where it comes up after all of this year.
It's soap time. I get it.
It was only a year since that original storyline, guys. But after all these years for it to come up because a situation so similar has arose. And so for Dante to be like talking about like how he feels bad about that time, but then is like, but I'm gonna encourage the same decision and advice. Michael is older and wiser. So he's like, Dante, I'm not gonna take your advice at all.
Right.
Right? It's not strategy. Like what Michael is doing with Jacinda, that's strategy, right? It doesn't matter how it looks, facts matter. And that's what he is working with. So that's strategy. That's like the best decision he can for his self preservation. But I don't know how you can go to your brother and be like, look, there's evidence pointing to Willow. There's no evidence pointing to you, but I think you should go to the cops and just say it was you because I think it is. Like that floored me. Floored me.
I felt the same because it was like Willow, because she acts naive and innocent. All of a sudden, people are so forgiving and forget her actions. Like it's so beyond frustrating how everybody in Port Charles tries to tell everybody else how quickly to figure out their feelings, but also constantly put you in a box. So Michael is dark and broody and he's come back hard. Okay, let's take a second to think about when Dante came back and how dark and
Exactly.
broody and how much he changed. Did anybody accuse him of murder and being a bad dad, or that he should just get his act together and move on with his life?
Yeah, it was pretty brutal because he decided, like, instead of having this internal debate, he's like, Michael, I've been debating about what you're
Oy.
personally capable of as a human. And I think that Willow is not capable of gruesome things that you are. And I think you are, and I think you're guilty. And I'm just like, because it's not,
Wow.
look, he didn't come in here trying to protect Michael, right? He didn't come in and
No.
say, like, look, this is what this looks like. I want you to know. And then Michael could be like, yeah, I know. His version of helping Michael is
Mhm.
confess. What I'm trying to wrap my head around is your father is a criminal. You co-parent with a hitman, but like, why haven't you gone to Sunny and been like, can you go confess to racketeering? Just because like deep down I know. And like, and like Jason, like I know you murder people, and I think you should come with me and let's just go tell Anna. Like I think we should, and I think you should just go live in a jail because it's the right thing, because it's the truth. It's like it's just like I'm sorry, but like it's too weird considering like his life. You know what I mean? Like life is not black and white, and
Mhm.
it's odd his view of what justice is, because if justice is following the evidence, like that's the lecture he gave Chase.
Mhm. Exactly.
And the funny thing is this whole lecture about evidence and what it looks like and his gut. So basically this is evidence versus gut.
Apparently.
And he basically told his brother, I just think you're a bad person and I think you're capable of
Right?
murder. But then when Michael talked about what Willow did, he's like, but there is no evidence. And
Oh
I'm
my
like,
I could not with that conversation.
so that's what I mean. Like people are having these conversations about evidence versus your gut feeling, but with Dante, it's brutal, right? And again, it's a similar perspective that Lulu has, right? So they're moving away from, let's say, their jobs to just their personal criteria for justice, if you will, right? Like it's
Yes.
becoming more personal and kind of messy, but the message underneath it all is essentially like, no, like I don't believe in you. You know what I mean? Or I'm not on your
Yeah.
side. That's the message that's being communicated. And I think with Lulu, it's really like it's interesting for me because when she came back to Port Charles, she leaned on Carly in order to help her help Rocco. Okay. And
Yes.
she used her relationship with Carly to protect her child or to do what was best for her child. And it meant kicking out Obrecht, which at the time it was harsh given what like
Yes.
that Obrecht air quotes, lost her daughter for saving Jaws. And she also leaned on Spinelli. She had Spinelli help her break into Sunny's
Mhm.
to find information on Charlotte. And the level of like disloyalty, you know what I
Yes.
mean? She feels that after Carly helped her with her child and their family, she's like, but no, but I have to. It's the right thing to do to point the direction to Michael or to really entertain that. I have a duty. It's like, no, we have a duty to maybe
Wow.
explore the evidence and theories there. And when it comes to Spinelli, like today, her conversation with Nathan, no, I think you're her love of her life. Like, yeah, she's with Spinelli and Spinelli adores her, but like, I pick you. But at the end of the day, we
Uh,
don't know what Maxie will do. But I pick you. What?
I know, it's so messed up.
And it's really interesting, right? Like she's there with Lucas, and Lucas is providing like a different side to things, like his
Mhm.
perspective. Like he's this person who I would say is more neutral. Well, he has his own issues with Willow, but he's still not like Carly or Michael. But he's
Yes.
able to share his perspective. He should have shared the slap. I don't know if he did.
Oh,
He just said she's capable of violence. So he didn't necessarily share that
yeah.
experience, but she heard a different sort of side to things. But then they tried to put Michael and Willow as equal in terms of parents.
Mm,
And I was like, what is this
no.
conversation? And I think it's going really extreme because of what the outcome is going to be, because it actually is going to be Willow.
I love it. I love it hard.
And I think that while Michael doesn't have an alibi and he's working on it, I think he does know something. I think he did see her. And I think his confidence is there because he might know more than than he's letting
Letting
on.
on.
Like I know
Mhm.
that he's working on this alibi, but he's pretty cool as a cucumber about this. And so
Mhm.
while Dante did not follow through on searching for evidence about to prove that Willow was actively going in and out,
Mhm.
I'm wondering if Michael is working on that or has it. Like, I wonder if he has a bit of a smoking gun, essentially. Like,
Oh.
so what we're seeing as an audience is he's working on the alibi, and everyone thinks that Michael is focused on firming up his alibi. Um,
Mhm.
and that they don't believe him. And he's pretty fine about it. Like, we don't really see him frazzled. And I think it's
No, at
because
all.
that is not the only thing happening. He is comforted by the truth. And he might have certain evidence to kind of prove her access.
I kinda love that. I love that her like, he has said to Tracy, and now he said to Jacinda, like, he was there. He did debate doing certain things. So, he is apart from Trina and Kai, who didn't see anything but heard something, we all strongly feel that Michael definitely saw something. Someone
Yeah.
else.
Yeah. So that's absolutely what I think is going on there. And it's also just the general narrative, right? That's what's being pushed. Like, oh my gosh, it's really Michael and it's not her. I mean, look, it's definitely going to cause problems for Brooklyn and Chase if Brooklyn starts
God
to
damn.
get wind of this or even has an exchange with Michael. And so he's getting on my nerves because it was the same narrative with, well, you know what? I guess that makes sense then because the narrative started during the custody case where Chase softened toward her and everybody started to go, Michael, be compassionate. Michael, what are you doing? When it was like the judge's ruling and that would drive me nuts because I'm like, but the judge ruled. Why is everyone like talking to Michael about this? And even in
Mhm.
this instance, the evidence is there and it's like, Michael, do something. What do you want him to do? Like, if he framed her, why would he turn around and be like, I did it? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You know,
No, but
because then what?
I love what he said to Dante, though. He's like, "If I wanted him dead, he would be. Point finale.
Yes.
Done, done."
But to me, I'm like, that is proof it wasn't him. And then Lulu overhears that and goes to Lucas, be like, I overheard this. I think he didn't. Lucas is like, no,
Oh
that
my
would be proof
gosh.
that he didn't. You know what I mean? That he
Right?
didn't do it. She's like, but he used murder in a sentence. I think he's capable. She's following her Lulu logic.
Yes.
One thing I'm surprised didn't come up, Nathan went to go see Lulu, okay? And
They had
remember,
some sparks. They coma bonded.
look, the only thing that flashed in my mind was coma couple. Did I see sparks? No. Do I think this is messy? Yes. Am I here for it because, of an alliteration, coma couple? Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is maybe someone she can truly, truly relate to, right? Where I think in this context, when she acts out or is crazy, I think for Nathan, it's like, yeah, no, I get it. So in this situation, though, there's some really big history, right? Because remember, Nathan died and
Mm,
she found him. And the rift between Maxie and her was you took Nathan away from me.
yes.
And I'm like, do I really have to bear witness to a scene where Nathan's like, "Oh my gosh, no, Lulu, it wasn't you." I'm like, "I don't need you
Yeah.
to be absolved." Like, I get that he
Yeah,
came
no
back from
thank
the
you.
dead, and that's a miracle, but isn't her waking up from a coma miracle enough? Why does she need to be absolved
No, but
from that
truly,
little thing?
right? No, but, like, the whole Geo thing, now this Nathan thing, like, no thank you, people.
Yeah, a lot of absolution being given to her, but I do like those really honest moments, right? Where she's able to talk about the anxiety, the
Yeah.
destabilization. I'm like, well, that's quite a story. You know what I mean? Like, that's really interesting. Not that I'm going to knock the drama. I love it. But I did kind of appreciate that moment. And maybe there is a lot more moments between her and Nathan in that way. Something that's super funny, though, was when he said Rocco, like when he mentioned.
Yes. That was, like, early star to her face acting and her finding out that news. Loved it hard.
So remember, he says this. I met Rocco. I haven't met Charlotte yet.
Mhm.
Does he mean meet her since coma? Because he has met Charlotte because he thought Charlotte was his daughter. Okay. So now I'm laughing because Rocco and Charlotte are brother and sister, and they would still be related in their side family. Because
Right.
because in this, secret family, this extra family, Rocco has Britt as mom, Nathan as uncle, Obrecht as grandma. But in this fake fam situation, Charlotte would be like Nathan's daughter, and then Rocco and Charlotte would be cousins in the alternate family, but siblings in their regular family.
That just broke my brain.
Because so Claudette came to town.
Yes.
And she was like a past love interest of Nathan.
Okay.
And she had led Nathan to believe that he was the dad. And then,
Ah,
like, Nina had kind of fallen for Charlotte, but then Nina ended up in Charlotte's life anyway, because then it turned out that Charlotte was neither Nathan's nor Claudette's,
yes.
but turned out, twist, Valentine and Lulu. So it was like really quite a thing when Charlotte came to town. I don't remember how many daddies she had, if it was actually more than just Nathan and Valentine. There might have been a third dad in there.
Okay.
Maybe. Yeah. So I thought that, and I wonder if that's going to come up since we're revisiting history.
I would love for them to do that.
But I'm wondering if there is gonna be more of splits, right? You have, like, Spinelli worried about losing, like, James, and then
Yeah.
you have Lulu being like, "I'm team Nathan." You have Carly, the fact that Lulu could, let's say, go after Michael in the press, but
Mhm.
also this, Carly working with Valentine.
No, but that was something I never knew I needed because in the preview for the week, I assumed, I don't know why I'm speaking for the all of the audience of General Hospital, but I assumed that
You
it
have
was
been voted ambassador, so do it. Do it.
It's an honor, and I'm going to do my best. I really thought it was Anna, right? Like, with the
Yes.
dark hair and everything, so I'm like, "Oh, wow, like, why is she going? Are we gonna have, like, Cesar Faison talk?" And legit goosebumps, because even when Carly called Spinelli, I had no idea what was happening, like,
Oh,
what the plan was. Okay, so I'm not the only one. Okay, I'm like, "I don't know what's happening, but I'm loving every part of this,
I'm like, she's
whatever she's
leaving.
trying to do."
I'm like, "She's leaving the show. She hates her storylines. She doesn't have one. She doesn't know what to do." So, like, I didn't she's giving up. Like, I didn't know what was going on. But I will say this, I underestimated GH, you know? I think for me, watching over the past few months, I just felt like
Mm.
Carly's character was falling through the cracks.
Yes.
You know, I would make comments like, "Well, I guess you can't always have, like, the main storyline all the time," but there was truly nothing going on for her, right? And
Mhm.
she was made to be played the fool, and it was acted up, right? She was in scenes actively being like, "I'm missing a lot of information in all these interactions."
Yes.
And I think when I saw Carly come to life in those scenes with Jason, when I realized, protecting her cover is protecting Jocelyn, I was like, "She's back. She's
Right?
back." The scenes with Joss, and then it was confirmed, right, with Brennan. She was like, "No, I love you. We're so good." So, like, watching all of that, and you're right, we thought the person visiting Valentine would be Anna, but then I remembered when that was going on, I'm like, "But Anna's with Britt. Anna's with Britt right now. What's going on?"
Right?
And when I saw her face, I was like, "Carly Valentine minus Anna, A plus." Because
Yes.
they did work together. So, I don't Carly I don't remember why, but Carly, Anna, and Valentine did mission together once.
Okay.
They did, and it was Peter related.
Okay. I feel like I remember this.
I don't remember why she was involved, but she
I don't
was.
know either, but it feels all very familiar, and I'm loving all of it.
And I like their interactions, and it's Valentine, right? Like, he has chemistry with everyone, and I love Valentine, like, the best is his intellect, the way that he's always 10 steps ahead. I loved it, right? Because when Carly found out, all she did was find out, and she had so many questions. The fact that Valentine was able to kind of walk her through the entire thing was phenomenal, and, like, when she came in, like, he's stunned, but what the Diane nod? Are you kidding me? The
Yes.
years of having Diane as a lawyer. Look, I love Alexis. She's earned a lot of, like, credit with me with the whole Ava, Christina's storyline, but let's be
Mhm.
real, she said today, "I'm the best lawyer," that kind of a thing, like,
Yes.
when Drew picked her, and I'm like, "No, it's Diane."
Yeah.
Diane wasn't available, basically, and so in this scenario, just watching it, right, like, Valentine being like just the recognition of all these spy details, like, "If you got in here, you'd had good credentials. Like, what is going on? What do you need from me?" Realizing that they have, like, the same enemy. Him
Mhm.
being able to say, like, and I loved it, right? Because I would be fine with Valentine too. Like, I remember when he poisoned her, I'm like, "I love Valentine, but Carly almost died." And I love what he
Yeah.
said, like, "Yeah, it wasn't you. I don't
I
mind
like you.
you. Yeah, you were collateral damage, and my daughter was the priority." And I'm like, "Fair," you know? And so I like that. That, like, neutralized that whole situation because it really wasn't
Yes.
about her. He's not that. Like, Valentine is really practical. He's not gonna do stuff for nothing, and when
Mhm.
it comes to his daughter, collateral damage is just a part of the job. He was a spy, a successful spy, the only one I can think of. And so just when he realized this was about one of her kids, and I love it because we talked about this when Valentine was in the show. Remember when he took all the kids trick-or-treating?
Yes.
We loved it that he earned this place where he's just like, "Dad." And so I loved it when, when he told the fact that he cares, and we talked about that, like, some characters, like, Carly was always that mama bear where she cared about other
Yes.
people's kids and had relationships with them. Other characters have that too, but I love seeing, like, how Valentine has that, where he's like, "Tell Rocco this," or he was like, "Is it
Yes.
Donna? Is it Joss?" Like, I
Oh.
love seeing that, and that whole interaction, watching Carly slowly process him nailing every aspect of it, right? That it could be a tragedy, that he used it to test her, and that he did not hold back, right? Oh,
Yes.
that's interesting, right? E.
Tell me more.
Oh, Jason lied a bit. Brennan's lying a lot. And Valentine straight up said, "I hear you, the whole Brennan part, but, like, your daughter also could have killed Cyrus. Your daughter could be a murderer."
Yes.
Like, he was straight with her. That might be something
In
that,
what way?
well, she hasn't had that in a little bit. Someone that's her
Ooh, I get it. I
equal,
get it now.
that's
Mhm,
not hiding
mhm.
things from her, that's being really truthful about hard things. No.
They would be magic together though,
Oh,
for real.
no. He's like a healthier Jason dynamic. Like, he provides all the stability and the loyalty and the calm,
Yes.
but, like, no weird dynamic. Like, no, like, we're best friends, but we act like lovers without but best friends. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
You know?
That's
So that's
complicated.
yeah, right? And then we see that, let's say with Brit, she is a healthier dynamic for Jason. She's all like, I should be number one. She's correct in that. We're adults.
Yes.
If we're gonna be in a relationship or, start something, your female best friend can't be like a factor here. Like, what are you
Right?
doing? Like, what is happening? So I think from that lens, I think Brit has the Carly elements in terms of like the good stuff for Jason, but packaged in a dynamic that has less baggage, right? And I find that Valentine offers the Jason isms to Carly, but in a healthier dynamic package that's clear.
Love that because it kind of reframes the steam room scene with Britt and Carly because they're basically saying exactly what you're saying. So Carly's laying out, we have history, we have a past, but it's complicated. Britt's like, but I'm here now. Why does it bother you that I'm here? I'm basically his future. Like that was that conversation.
Also, Brit, though, I really like her, but that was a lot of towels.
Yeah, it was.
And it
I was
was
like, what are
it
you
was the
doing,
whole
lady?
room. Yeah, it
Mhm.
was like the whole room. And she's like, "Oh, you brag about being rich." And I'm like, "But you do egg her on. Like, I mean, you guys just give as good as you get to each other." I just want them to have drinks again. I thought that was so fun.
They antagonize each other, like, apart from the whole Jason aspect, like, it feels like old school, a bit of Elizabeth, of a little bit of Sam, like, not when they were at each other's throats, but that, like, middle ground where they're, like,
Yes.
trying to figure out their path to each other because there's so many people in common, but working out all the kinks before they can get to that place of, we don't love each other, but we respect each other, and we have a similar
Yes.
mindset as to the way we love people.
Yes. And I think that has to happen, right? I think it's there. Absolutely. I think that's like a good read on the two of them. But again, like, just to rewind and to watch those scenes, I was so captivated by Carly and Valentine. And again, it was one of those things where you didn't know you needed it, just like we didn't know that we needed Jason and Tracy. Like, there was a couple of
Yes.
combos that we've seen, like, well, Stella and everyone, but Stella and Tracy, for instance.
Yes.
Like there were so many times that they just paired people up that we were just so in love with their relationship. So I just have to say thank you. I underestimated what you had planned. I underestimated the Carly character. Yeah, this is like so fun for me. I love having like the fun parts, and I'm so curious about how they're gonna work together. Is she gonna fly there every time?
Because it's like a real plan. Like, we have a duo that can get things done. Like, we thought we were going to get this with Carly and Nina on a lesser scale, of course, because we're not dealing with international organizations and spies, but that was a flop. But
Yes,
Carly and
yes.
Valentine are magic, absolute magic.
Yeah, you're right. We did kind of want to see a really cool Carly Nina, like the best of them, taking
Mhm.
down Drew. And I am sorry that that didn't happen.
Yes.
But yeah, no, but this is interesting, right? Remember, WSB isn't her world, which means
Yes.
she's more likely to follow Valentine and be in lockstep with him and not go rogue because she thinks she knows more. Like did you notice she held it together with Britt because she knows Britt knows
Yes,
about
absolutely.
Jocelyn, right?
Mhm.
And she knows, for instance, that Britt and Jason, that they have that secret about Jocelyn. Like she knows that. Like Jason finally told her, but she knows all of
Yes.
that, but she really kept that part out of it. And given that her priority is Jocelyn's safety, that's also a reason to regulate. And I guess I'm kind of impressed that Carly is doing this alone. She told Spinelli not to tell Jason, and she's actually going to take care of the situation. So I guess this may not bring them together or give them a reason to talk more the way I thought, because Jason is not going to be the one to support her through this, if you will.
I love it though, because you're right. Jason isn't her world. And in terms of when it comes to WSB and Mob, it was her past. They have a friendship. But we've also seen Carly grow so much on her own and gain
Yeah.
her independence. And we were worried about what that past was going to look like when Jason came back. Yes, like, are they in love? Are they not in love? But also how much she depended on him. And she had grown so much. I didn't want to see her kind of go back to constantly leaning on him when she's super capable and has built this amazing life on her own.
Yeah. And she didn't. She's kind of like she kind of stayed in her own lane. But I mean, we can
Yes.
never forget how epic that hug was and seeing each other. There is a big love there. And I
Of
do feel they've
course.
they've teased us. Yes, I agree that they have an epic friendship, but we all agree it's a bit weird. And that is being questioned, right? Like Brit's poking
Yeah.
at it, Joss is poking at it. So we're not crazy to be like,
No.
love that you guys are friends, but it's kind of intense and it's not sustainable. So it's not necessarily a will they or won't they, but it's like, how do you then explain this because it's not something that is sustainable. The older you get, the more that you grow. Like at some point, you have to let go. So that's kind of what I want to see. What are you going to do with this? You know what I mean? Because it's really intense. It's kind of confusing. It's either put them together or they actually have to talk about, hey, our love for each other is pretty intense. Like we put a lot of on the side, you know what I mean? For each other. Like, does it make sense to spend the rest of our lives prioritizing one another and then
Mhm.
having relationships and families on the side? Like, that doesn't make sense,
No, it really doesn't.
right? So it's not necessarily like they're obviously not throwing them together, but I mean, if you want to move on, like, that has to be addressed. So I think at the very least, I can kind of work with this. Okay, thank you. At least don't make me crazy. Don't like throw all these intense feelings, the cute music, our history, and then have these like longing moments, then be like, we're best friends, and that's what we've decided, and then move them into different relationships. And you know what I mean? Like I
Mhm.
would prefer you kind of just close this because you did experiment with it. You know, you did put it on the table. It was removed. Fine.
Mhm.
But I think it makes sense to, at the very least, give us that satisfaction of telling us, "You guys weren't crazy. There was some of that, and we're gonna deal with it. We're gonna explore it a little bit." Okay, so I have a crazy theory. Because you know how you said earlier, like, maybe Curtis did it? It's not, but
Yes.
whatever. I have a crazy one, and it's really out there. It's really out there.
Okay, I'm here for it. Tell me
Okay,
everything.
so I'm gonna ask you, is Cesar alive?
It's Soap World. I have to say yes.
Okay. And I mean, story wise, I think it's logical to think Cesar, right? Brit is really on edge. We see the sea.
Yes.
You have like, they bring Nathan back. Brit comes back at the same time. And then you have like Anna and her Cesar knowledge, you know, just there, right? So it feels very Cesar-y.
Yeah.
But then Brit's like, he's dead. But then it's like all of these antics are very Cesar.
Yes.
But this is out there. This is not what I think, okay? But,
Okay.
like, what if he is dead and it's signed C, and
Mhm.
it's someone who's working for a syndicate? There's only one other person with, like, a C initials. There's Morgan Corinthos.
Stop.
But again, that's not Morgan's cup of tea, but if we were
No.
gonna bring him back, we thought, "Oh, pikemen," you know? And this is very Cesar's fingerprint, so who are his people? I mean, Peter's a good guess of who the boss could be.
Yes.
You know, like, that would be good, but that's, like, a lot of dead people. That's a lot of dead people to bring
That's a
back.
lot of dead people.
Yeah, 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 in the same storyline. That's why when Nathan was talking to Brennan, I was like, "Maybe you should wait a bit before becoming a cop." Because when Brennan was questioning him about Faison, and Nathan's like, "Faison's dead." And then Brennan's like, "Okay, so are you, like, so was your sister, so was half of Port Charles." And then
Right.
Nathan goes, "What are you getting at?" And I'm like, "Okay, I don't think you're ready to be a cop again. Where do you think he's going with this? Like, you know too many people who have been dead at a point in time,
Right?
like temporarily dead. That's not the definition, but it happens a lot.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I again, it's very Faison-y. At the very if Faison is truly dead, then like, I don't know, next guess is Peter. But when I was looking at the scene, I'm like, what else could it be? You know, why she's so sketchy and doesn't want to tell Jason. Cesar is a scary reason not to tell Jason, but
Yes.
even scarier to like, is that the reason why she said he would never do anything to me? We assumed it was the dad, but then Obrecht said he didn't really care too much for her.
Yeah.
But if Morgan knows her and she knows Jason, is that the reason she felt somewhat safe?
That would be so twisted because then what would be the backstory for him? Would be the options of him surviving an explosion, but then turning to the dark side? Is it because he had this there was deformities and he was burned. He had to come up with this scientific thing to like fix his body and he needed all these people. And then he caught on to this whole vibe of being evil. Like, I just can't wait to see if we love him, that actor, and if they are gonna bring a Morgan back, it has to be him.
Yeah, it has to be the original character. And he did put it out there, this idea of like GH. I mean, he does it all the time, but there was something that
Yes.
he put out on social media. But it's the question is not what turned, when did Morgan decide to go bad? Why was Cesar Faison interested in him? Why was he saved? Why did he get him?
I
You know what I mean?
know.
Because if he like, if, the explosion happened, so the idea would be like someone found him, right? Like just how Nathan was held. Like, look, Nathan is like an angel. He's a good guy, and he was
Mhm.
held for like 7 years. He likely did a bunch of things, so that could
Yes.
be an explanation. Soldiers,
Mhm.
like that you have, like you find someone who like appears dead, and you're like, come with me, I will undead you. And then you work for me and I keep you. And like, maybe you picked up another dead guy earlier, Morgan. So it's like, I don't think it's like Morgan finding him. I think like when you're vulnerable and you're trying to come back
Yes.
from the dead, chances are someone has you. And like we thought, for instance, maybe why Jason stayed away and kept it a secret was because he was protecting Morgan. Turns out he was protecting Carly. So I don't know if this C could be that. So while there's a possibility of every single dead character resurfacing on the show, we have Lois bidding us farewell. I will say I love the rationale for her departure, and I actually did enjoy her scenes. Like, I actually was taken with her conversation with Geo. It felt genuine, and also really like moved by her exchange with Brooklyn.
Okay, so she's legit leaving for a while?
I don't do any research, so I
Neither
just
do I.
follow what they're telling me because I know they're not like they haven't shown Blaze, so I think they're sending her wherever Blaze is.
Like Joey on Friends down the elevator shaft?
Exactly. Exactly. So she's probably
Got
gonna
it.
go for a little bit is how I'm understanding this.
Okay, fair. I understood the same thing because the heaviness of their scenes was beautiful and so intense, but I'm like, she's still on planet Earth. She's like on the other side. Like there's phones, there's FaceTime. Like I'm having a hard time understanding this.
Yeah, because she's probably leaving.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
leaving the show. That's what that
No,
was.
I computed that, but I was just
Yeah.
like, story wise, I'm like, like they did such a great job of like showing that emotion, you know?
Yeah, but I loved how she explained it. I'm so mad at
Hmm.
you, but I actually want you nearby. That was,
Yeah, this is so
that's
cute because it's so real.
but that's why I felt the scene was really meaty because it was really complex. It was like it was very beautifully done at that you have this rift, and I think they did a good job of showing how complicated it is, that
Mhm.
even though they love each other, that there is an understanding that this can't be right now.
Yes.
And so I just loved all of it. I thought it was so layered. So I mean, yes, like I get that this was just to like say that she was leaving, but I just found the way that the relationships were handled was beautiful. I liked Lois's scene. So definitely a gold star there.
Well, yeah, absolutely. It's amazing. And last thing I want to ask you about, do you think Jacinda is really going to fall in love?
Of course.
I know, right? I'm looking at her like, dude, come on. Like, look
Like,
at this man.
Michael doesn't have a good track record.
Nope.
To have a track record, Sasha would have had to stay.
Yes.
Sasha was the most stable relationship he had ever had on the show, like stable person. Do I
Hmm.
think Jacinda's unstable? I don't know. She's all right. Like she can hang so far, so we'll see. I did like I guess I give her credit, right? I love how she went at Drew. Like, even if she was
Yes,
afraid, which
loved
she
it.
was, right? She was afraid, she wanted to flee, but she didn't. And
No,
she,
she
like,
dug her heels in.
she dug her heels in and at least showed face. You know what I mean? So he didn't see that. She really, I guess, acted as a person protected by Michael.
Yes, I loved it. And then when they did their selfie and they actually kissed, I was like, yep, you're done.
Yeah, of course. So I wonder what the job is that he gave her. Obviously, as I'm guessing at Aurora. It shouldn't have been. It should be somewhere else, but whatever.
That's what I was thinking too. I can't wait to see because I can absolutely see her turning into something great in a corporate world and how they could spin that, right?
I feel like there were other characters who kind of
That's
had
what I was trying to think.
like
That's why I said that very slowly.
I feel like we had other characters, like, when they did flashbacks, like, really, really bajillion years ago on the show, where it's, like, where they started and where they came, like, the whole, like, Lucy being, like, this librarian, and then she became, like, a fox, and then I feel like
Okay.
there was something in the flashbacks too, probably
Mhm.
also about Tracy. I mean, not about Tracy, about Lucy, but anyway, so I think, like, that could be, like, an old school nod. Like, she
Yes.
started out as an escort and then becomes, like, a titan of industry. Head of the Quartermains. I don't know. Yeah.
My gosh. Oh my gosh. I think we talked about all the things and covered all the stuff.
Covered all the stuff.
Do you have any favorite lines?
It was Olivia's, but I feel just like a lot of the back and forths were really entertaining, but it was mostly just Olivia's line was my favorite when she said, "You could have thrown that at someone and still wouldn't be the problem." I think that was hilarious. Hilarious. And
So
basic
good.
and every exchange between Carly and Valentine.
Yeah, like I love all of that.
Massive
Just
stars.
a lot of gold. Exactly. A lot of gold this week. My favorite line actually comes from Ronnie
Oh, of course.
when she opened the door to Drew. No different than what she said before.
Uh,
She looked at him up and down and she's like, "Thank
that
you, but I have a really nice relationship with the Lord." I laughed so loud.
that was so good. That was so good.
Oh my gosh. Okay, and stars, like, for me, it's like stars across the board and
Across
minus
the
20
board.
stars for Drew.
Can I give a favorite line that I just made up in my head right now?
Absolutely, you can.
Okay. Undersex, title of our podcast.
Gold star to you.
Yes. And I guess we should talk about a cutie pie moment after making that statement.
Yes, absolutely.
I know. I got it. Spinelli trying to hug Jason.
Aw, poor guy. He just wants a hug. But, like, how many times do you think I know they're not allowed to do the scenes, like, a multitude of times, but watching them sit together and
So good.
Jason character having to keep a straight face when they do their podcast and are, like, laughing and smiling the whole entire time, that must have been so challenging.
I know, and especially that subtle move for the hug must have been I'm curious, like, did they really get through that in one take? I thought that was so funny and so adorable. But yeah, just look, I think Spinelli is gonna be really I think the warmth approach, the inviting him for dinner approach is something that would work, and I hope that it's calm, at least family-wise, with Nathan and Spinelli. I mean, they've always gotten along for the most part.
Yes. Okay, wait, was that your cutie pie moment of the week, Jason and Spinelli?
Jason and Spinelli, I have more gold stars because I know it's gonna be great, but, like, Laura, like, that like, when I didn't
Yeah,
like, when Ronnie left, I'm like, "You shouldn't leave them alone, you should hear
I know.
everything this man is," but when she walked away, I'm like, "Who's gonna show up? Who is gonna show up that will make this better for me?" And Laura did that. Absolutely, she did that.
Love that. Oh, give us your handle for cutie pie, please.
Yes. So on Instagram, it's at Cutie Pie Coloring. So you can just check out the pages, share whatever you've already colored. Thank you to everybody who has been buying the book. And it's also available on Amazon, a fun stocking stuffer. Oh, I shouldn't say that. It's not even Halloween yet, guys. But a fun gift for anybody at any time.
You can also go to our Instagram page and
Oh,
it can
right.
link you through to the Cutie Pie Coloring Instagram page as well. And we do have another announcement. So this
Oh,
Saturday,
yeah.
yay, podcast, but next Saturday, boo, no podcast.
It's because Halloween fell on a Friday, guys. And we have
Yeah, we got
littles
kids.
to take out. And by the time we get back, and yeah, no.
So you'll have to enjoy next Saturday or watching next week with us in your heads.
But it's going to be hard if it's so good and we can't like do
I
anything.
know.
I guess we could talk to each other.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's so true.
Yeah,
Sorry, guys.
I guess we could do that.
Oh my gosh, folks, that's a wrap. Have a fantastic weekend. Bye bye.
Bye.